meeting for the January 9th, 2025 Franklin Conservation Commission. A note quickly that we are recording this video and audio. If anyone online or in the room would like to make a separate recording, simply please let us know. Thank you. I will open up then the first public hearing, which is the NOI for 15 Liberty Way. Do we have anyone for 15 Liberty Way? Online or in the audience?
Nope, the applicant requested a continuance.
I'm sorry?
The applicant requested a continuance,
Okay.
so they're not present.
Chris, did you have a comment?
I had nothing prepared, sorry.
I mean, you don't have to, just asking.
No, we don't have anything prepared. We're still going through planning board review for stormwater.
That's what I figured.
Okay,
All right.
thanks for
All right.
chipping in.
Is there any public comment either in the room or online? No? There be none, I will take a motion.
I'll give you a motion to continue the NOI for 15 Liberty Way to January 23rd at 7:01.
Second. Vote to continue.
Vote to continue.
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 Okay,
Hey, go ahead.
roll call.
Oh, we could do that too, and I had something too. All right,
Okay.
Richard Johnson here.
Mark LePage here.
Jeff Livingstone,
Michael Ryan?
Roger Trahan here.
Nicole Sharamonte.
thank you.
So,
And
Louis Lucas here.
Oh, Louis.
Oh, hey, Louis.
Okay, right. And you vote to continue, right?
Hey, guys.
Yes? Okay, continue. There's a can.
all right.
All right, do you have something?
So I was gonna throw out an idea, so, you can see we got a pretty busy schedule, we got some new, applications coming in, we're gonna be looking at a few barn burner meetings. So the idea is that as we go through with applicants, maybe we ask them if they feel like they will be prepared to have some new information in 2 weeks, or if they'd like to extend out to 4. So there'd just be a question, and I think it could potentially, we're continuing a lot. Sometimes people are prepared with more information, sometimes they aren't. So if everybody's good with that. I thought
Yeah, but we have to also, I want to point out that, we go until 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then we stop.
Right, we do
So
have a
if we don't
cutoff.
get through the agenda, because we have 25 meetings on the agenda,
Yeah,
we don't get through
Yeah.
the agenda, and they get pushed back to next week. So people should know that's true.
Yep.
I don't think we actually advertise that,
right.
but people should pay attention to what is on the agenda and what's backing up onto the agenda. So if that's the case, as said, if you don't feel that 2 weeks is enough time, really, to do whatever needs to be done, please give us the administrative courtesy to let us know such that we can push that meeting an additional 2 weeks to the month part and take it off the next agenda, because basically just everybody who actually has business to conduct, essentially has to wait for everyone else who doesn't, and that's really not fair anyway.
Takes a little pressure off of everybody,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, yeah,
So, okay,
all right,
anyway, so thank you.
yeah.
So I'd like to open up the next meeting, which is the NOI for Louise Drive. I believe there's a continuation request for that as well, yes?
They actually never submitted a continuation
Oh,
request.
okay.
I haven't heard from them
Okay.
since our December 12th meeting, but all the same, still waiting on applicant response to review.
So no new information on that?
No, and you may consider this their first meeting missed
Missed.
without
Okay.
communication.
Yeah. And our rule was,
Yeah, 2
Right.
meetings, so 30 days without, and then you close
right.
due
okay.
to lack of information on the 3rd.
Right, okay, so 30 days without any information, any new information?
Well, communication.
I'm sorry, communication,
Yeah.
communication, right. Effectively, we are treating that as a quote abandoned project, so our abandoned request, so that we will be taking that off our agenda, we will be closing and taking that off our agenda. So what happens is that in the past, we've been basically carrying these meetings on forever and ever and ever. People don't show up and then communicate for months, and that's not fair to staff, it's not fair to town. So we're gonna be a little bit more diligent about doing that in the future, just so people know. All right, anyone online or in the room for Louise Drive? No? Any public comment for Louise Drive? No? Okay, then I'll take a motion.
Go ahead, Richard, bring it on.
Give you a motion to continue the NOI for Louise Drive to January 23rd at 7:02 PM.
Second that.
Vote to continue.
Vote to continue.
Continue.
Continue?
Continue.
Continue.
Online.
Continue.
Okay, continue. Remind me to always bring this over. Okay. So I'd like to open up the third public hearing, which is the NOI for Lot 160 Spring Street. I have a note here, we're still waiting on Beta and agent reviews, yes?
Yes, the applicant, since I published this, has requested
They
continuance.
have, okay.
So they now have actually a letter, and they're working through their review, so,
Okay. So I assume there's no one online for Lot 160?
no.
Okay, and no public comment? Okay, I'll take motion to continue.
I give you a motion to continue the NOI for Lot 160 Spring Street to January 23rd at 7:03 PM.
Second that.
Vote to continue.
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 Online.
Continue.
Continue. Okay, and now we open up the fourth public hearing, which is the NOI for Lot 360 Spring Street. I'm assuming it's the same thing, yes? Okay. I'm assuming no one has a public comment? Okay.
I give you a motion to continue the NOI for Lot 360 Spring Street to January 23rd at 7:04 PM.
Second that.
Vote to continue.
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 Continue?
Continue.
Continue.
Online.
Continue.
Continue, thank you. Now I'd like to open up the public hearing for the fifth public hearing for the Prospect Street culvert repair. And I have a note here, waiting on applicant response to peer review, so we have not yet gotten anything back from peer review, yes?
Yep, or DEP, so they requested a continuance.
Okay, all right, okay. Is there anyone online or in the audience that has any comments on Prospect Street? Okay, with that being none, I will
All right, I will give you,
be passing the torch.
yeah, he's,
Oh, yeah,
You
well,
gotta
Give me
rotate.
yeah, we've got to rotate.
got to rotate around. A motion to continue the NOI for Prospect Street culvert repair to January 23rd at 7:05.
Second, vote to continue.
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 Online. Oh, you got it.
Continue.
Thank you. Continue. Okay. Now, we go to the sixth public hearing tonight, the NOI for Lot 2, 844 Lincoln Street. It looks like this is still under review, correct? Yes?
Yep, so that, the representative is here to present.
Okay.
At this point, we received a peer review letter today.
Okay.
So just to afford the commission one last time in my review. I did take a look at it, it's mainly administrative, so at this point, I would recommend a approval at the next meeting,
Okay.
with conditions. I just,
Great. Okay. You're for Lincoln?
Yes,
Lincoln? Okay, you're up.
Excellent, great.
Hello.
That went much faster than I expected it to. So I get to get some more
We
work
try to
done.
get right down to business here, yeah.
So for the record, Eric Dias, registered professional engineer, Strong Point Engineering. I've actually not been in this room before, so I don't know if we set up boards or if things are available here. But based on the comment from the agent, just to reiterate, yes, we did receive a review letter from Beta. It is mostly administrative. Oh, that's perfect.
yeah, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Oh, that's
Don't have
perfect.
1, 9 up there, but if right click and open Lincoln tab,
Fantastic.
I have some stuff.
Makes life much easier. So we've talked about this a few times. I think the last time that we were before you was, I want to say it was the November meeting. It could have been early December.
I think it was.
I think it was November. At the time, we had resubmitted. We had submitted initially, we had a few notification issues, so we kind of withdrew, we resubmitted the package. We updated the plans at that time with some comments that were initially made by the agent. Namely, we added a variance request, a full restoration plan, and we updated the alternatives analysis. At the time that we had come before you at the last meeting, I don't think Beta had even begun their review. So fast forward to now, we do have what I would say is a pretty clean letter from Beta. The comments that they provided didn't change anything design-wise. They were mostly documentation of compliance, things like that. Beta's letter does defer to the commission on a few items, one being the variance request that allows us to cross the isolated wetland. The other one being the acceptance of the alternatives analysis. And the third was, there is a bylaw requirement to locate individual trees to be removed over 1 inch diameter. And they note in their letter that the commission is typically somewhat lenient on that, on a case by case.
Okay, so, don't know how this happened, where this came from, but we've never done that,
Beautiful.
because that is crazy. So, no, I mean, we're not irrational people, so.
Sure.
What we've typically done is said 3 inch, if people can identify 3 inch or above.
Mhm.
That's it, so it was that caliber.
Okay. So we haven't located individual trees, only because at the time we did the survey, we didn't know exactly where things were gonna go.
Right.
We did include a full restoration plan and replication plan, which in theory would kind of combat that. But if that's something that the commission, you know, is dead set on, certainly we can locate those trees. We could perhaps even request that it be a condition of approval. I don't know how the commission generally handles that.
Okay, so since this is after the fact question, what kind of area are we talking about roughly?
It's not a big area. It's really just, as you see on the plan there, the driveway,
Okay.
through the wetland itself and the 25-foot buffer zone, I think, is less than 2,000 square feet of disturbance.
That's still a lot.
The other thing that, you know, we could typically do is, obviously, when we do this, we'll be staking the limit of clear. It would be, you know, a pretty easy effort for us at that time, but again, we defer to the commission. I'm new around here, I don't know how you folks typically handle that.
So, question to you, I mean, would it be sufficient really to just ask for like an estimated population?
Just approximately
I
how
mean-
many?
Yeah.
Eric also offered to go out before the next meeting, so depending on, I mean, it will not take me long to draft conditions. So if he goes out, or at least identifies within the limit of work,
Right.
trees that are 3 dBH and larger, as opposed to the entire property,
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
right.
that's an easier grab.
Yeah, could we do something like that?
Yeah, I mean, that's, you may, yeah.
Would that, well, I mean, would that be a reasonable compromise?
I don't take exception to it. My only concern will be timing, like we talked about, and you had mentioned earlier in the,
Right.
in the meeting, and I know my applicant's eager to get this taken care of, so
Right.
let me,
Cool.
I will work to do everything I can to get that done, and if for some reason I'm not gonna be able to, I can notify the agent as soon as possible. Is that fair?
That's
Yep.
fair.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, great.
I mean, we want you to get the project done too. I mean, please, we don't wanna.
We appreciate that.
At least give us an estimate.
Yeah, that's, yeah. I mean, I think it's just an estimate.
Yeah,
Yeah, we can certainly get an estimated number.
Do
I
it,
don't
just
think
do a transaction. Like a-
That's what I thought, just do a population, we get a sampling.
Yeah, just do a sampling of a area and then extrapolate from there.
Yeah, we can do that, no problem.
Just, I mean, yeah, just trying to be,
Okay.
that's fine.
Yeah, that's not an issue. We can definitely do that before the next meeting.
Yeah,
yeah,
Yeah, because I don't even need to activate my survey crew to necessarily do that.
All right, let's
yeah,
do
we
that.
don't.
yeah, let's do that,
And then the only other thing that I wanted to know about Beta's letter, they did have a few conditions of, actually, two things I want to know. They did have one request for us to provide a calculation that is my fault. I neglected to provide it in my initial response. And it's just to confirm the volume of the IBW, to confirm that it does not qualify as an ILSF. I did provide a calculation. It was shortly before the meeting. I don't know if the agents had a chance to see it, but I do have it with me. It does not qualify. It's about 4 times smaller than it would need to be.
Okay.
And Beta's comment was even, you know, discuss it at the meeting, just let's get it on the record. So I have submitted that.
Okay.
And then they had a couple of conditions for approval, and I think the most, in my mind, important one is to provide a construction period invasive species management plan, which we've agreed, it was actually our idea to condition that simply because we didn't have time to put it together before the deadline to submit.
Okay.
It's typically very boilerplate, but being around the holiday, having staff out, things like that. But we've committed to do it, we're glad to do it, we'll get it in.
Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good.
Good.
Okay, yeah, so we will try to get this done next meeting, okay?
Great, appreciate that.
Okay, that's our objective.
Great, thank you very much.
Does anybody have any questions?
I just have a quick question for the, did you submit, the, care and maintenance for the, catch basins at all?
There are no catch basins on our site, so the only operations and maintenance requirements for the catch basins would be by the DPW in the street. We did specify putting silt sacks in the catch basins during construction to prevent them from erosion, sedimentation, things like that. That is on the, there's a detail for that on the plans, and it's in the erosion control protocols.
Oh, thank you.
Sure.
Anything else, Ben?
No.
Louis, anything? No?
No, I don't have any comments. Just kind
Okay.
of following through right now with the changes here from the last meeting.
Okay. Anybody in the audience or online? Questions? Okay, we're being done. I will take a motion.
Give me a motion to continue the NOI for Lot 2, 844 Lincoln Street to January 23rd at 7:06 PM.
Second that?
Vote to continue.
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 Continue?
Online.
Continue.
Continue. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you.
All right, now we go to lot 3, 844 Lincoln Street. I'm assuming same situation, yes?
If I can just say ditto,
Okay.
yeah, that'd be
Yeah,
great.
ditto. Okay, ditto, okay. And just ask again, anybody online or in the room for lot 3, 844 Lincoln? No? Okay. Hit me.
I'll give you a motion to continue the NOI for Lot 3 at 844 Lincoln Street, January 23rd, 7:07.
Second, vote to continue.
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 Continue?
Online.
Continue.
Continue. Thank you.
Thank you all for your time, appreciate
Thanks,
that.
Aaron.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brian.
Okay. So we go to the 8th public meeting for tonight, which is the NOI for 55 Constitution Boulevard. And I have a note here that this is still under review currently, yes?
Yeah, but same with the previous one,
Yeah, yeah,
we're,
yeah.
we're getting close, and we had just
Okay.
received peer review letter today,
Okay.
so.
Yeah, they just, this letter, they responded to the comments.
What's the date on that one?
December 31st.
Yep, so then we
December.
got a beta peer review letter today, a response,
Okay. All right.
and they've been very communicative, so.
Go.
Thank you. Todd Morey from Beals Associates, Ira Lapchansky from our office, and Jeff Sullivan from Northbridge Partners. As noted, we had responded to the previous round of comments on December 31st. Beta sent a letter today. Looks, my read through it, I was reading it running out of the office at 4 o'clock. It looks pretty clean, and there were some recommended conditions in here, which are absolutely fine with us. We went out, picked up the 3-inch trees, we added 10 to the total, so that's on the December 31st package. The only other item of business I want to bring to your attention is the waiver for work in the 0 to 25-foot buffer. We had talked about that the last time we were here. We had never actually filed the waiver because it was an area where we were actually just taking out pavement and revegetating that area. So we weren't sure. We all decided that just for the sake of making sure that there's documentation in the file, file the waiver. So that did come in on December 31st as well. The only other item that I want to update you on is we're still working with Planning Board on stormwater. We've got a letter going back to Beta on that, I believe Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. We're in front of the Planning Board on Monday, and to discuss other issues, traffic and that kind of stuff. But I think that's where we're at. I think we're pretty much wrapped up, except for
Yeah.
stormwater on this.
Okay, and you don't expect anything coming back from the planning board that would impact conservation? Right.
Just the stormwater items that were still outstanding, but other than that, absolutely not. No.
Okay.
So maybe by next meeting, we'll be.
Yeah.
Well, it depends if
Depends on what's,
planning board approves the
Well-
stormwater.
right.
Yes.
We live in hope.
We live in.
Well, our task, in all fairness to planning board, our task is really just to turn the stormwater comments back to Beta
Yeah.
by, like I said, Tuesday or Wednesday, and then work with them to get a letter back out of them. They've been extremely responsive on letters.
Okay.
As you can probably see, we sent one in December 31st. By January 9th, we got another one back,
Right,
so
okay.
I think that's terrific. They've done a great job.
All right. Sounds like everything's on course.
No concerns.
Okay.
I think it's fine.
Any questions here, you guys?
No.
No?
No, it'd be nice to get it moving.
Yeah, no kidding.
Sorry, I didn't have more for you.
No, that's fine. Thank you for coming in.
Thank
Looking
you.
at that agenda, it doesn't
Okay.
seem like you need
So
more.
let me just ask just formally, does anyone online or in the audience have any questions or comments about this, the 55 Constitution project? No? Okay. Good.
I give you a motion to continue the NOI for 55 Constitution Boulevard to January 23rd, 7:08 PM.
Second that,
Vote to continue.
vote to continue.
Continue
Continue?
Continue.
Continue?
online.
And
Continue.
Thank you.
And I don't want to jinx it or anything, but in case we don't get the sign off on the stormwater, is there anything else you want to talk to us about, or are we just waiting on stormwater?
We're just waiting.
Yeah.
That's good. That's it.
So if that gets extended, we'll just, yeah, we'll let you
Oh,
know.
yeah.
So just tell her.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Todd.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Now I'd like to open up the ninth public hearing for 124, 122 Grove Street. And there was a request for continuance, yes?
Mm-hmm. And the only new update is that we have a DEP number and one comment,
Okay, all
which is something that we've already identified.
right. Right,
So.
right, I see, yes, yes. Okay. So assuming there's nobody here for 124, 126, is there anyone online or in the audience that has a comment on this project? No? Then
So just real
Yes.
quick, they're not here tonight. Do we want to send them a note and see if they're going to be ready on January 23rd? Make sure
It's
before we
your
put them on
decision. I'll do whatever you decide.
we,
I would think that's a good idea,
yeah, right?
yeah.
Do you want us to do that, Bricolai, or?
Do you want to do that? Authorizing body, issuing authority? Do you want to
I'm
tell
happy
me
to do it, right? Just send them an email, see if. they-
Oh, I can do it on your behalf. I'm saying, would you like me to do that?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Thank
I'll do
you.
that. There you
Yeah,
go.
formal request.
Yeah,
Yes,
Yes.
thank you.
I just think it'd
You
be,
need to put your ticket on the table.
Yeah.
I got it, right? Get the cards out. there.
Delegate, be aggressive,
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
aggressive,
Yeah.
B-E-A-G-G-R-E-S-S-I-B.
Oh, my God. Don't give this guy any pom-poms.
Oh, I like it.
Yes, I can do that.
Thank you.
Happy to.
Thank you, Bricolai.
You're welcome. All right.
I just think it's a good idea. Maybe we,
See, I can't take you anywhere.
I know,
Okay,
right?
all right, so, all right, so with that, I'll take a motion.
I'll give you a motion to continue the NOI for 124, 126 Grove Street to January 23rd at 7:09 PM.
Second that,
Vote to continue.
vote to continue.
Continue.
Continue?
Continue.
Continue?
Eat them alive.
Continue?
Continue.
Thanks, Louis.
Okay, so we'll move quickly to the 10th public hearing of the night for the NOI for 1 Paddock Lane. This is the same thing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So no one here, any comments on 1 Paddock Lane? Audience or online, no? No questions? Okay, then,
So do we want to do the same thing with them? Just make sure they're going to be ready to rock and roll?
I'm assuming they will be.
Just really quickly on that one,
Okay.
I did start seeing revised site plans come through my email inbox
Great.
today. So we're hoping to have something for you for the next hearing.
great, great.
Chris, glad you were here. That's good.
Yeah.
I know, right?
The
Save
inside
us.
guy. Yeah, that's good.
Super.
Okay.
Give-
Okay,
I'll give you a motion to continue the NOI for 1 Paddock Lane to January 23rd at 7:10 PM.
Second that,
Vote to continue.
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 Continue?
Continue.
Continue?
Levy.
Continue.
Okay. Okay. So I'd like to open up the 11th public hearing for the ANRAD for 444 East Central Street. Yes? Oh,
It's me.
oh, that's
For real.
great.
Okay, this guy.
Yes.
dangerous there.
Yeah, that's
Don't
precarious.
let it take your eye out.
All right, folks. Well, for the record, my name is Chris Frateroli, wetland scientist with Goddard Consulting, here to discuss 444 East Central Street's ANRAD. So really just kind of a brief update for you tonight. We received DEP comments and we submitted a response to those comments, just trying to keep this thing moving along. There were only 3 comments. One was mostly administrative. The first being that DEP recommended that the commission field verify the wetland resource areas and the extent of degraded riverfront area. Those are all things we're showing on the site plan, and I'm sure that you are already on track to do that. So we're fully on board with that. The second point was that we should provide additional information to demonstrate that the isolated vegetated wetlands are not capable of containing enough water to qualify as ILSF. So Allen and Major, the project's engineers, submitted calculations for that. And we can see these yellow outlines here are the drainage areas, the blue polygons here being those 2 isolated vegetated wetlands we have on site. For the purposes of HydroCAD, the one on the left is called IV1. That one's only capable of containing about 1,300 cubic feet of water, which is well below the quarter acre foot threshold. And similarly, on the eastern half of the site, that's IV2. It's capable of containing just under 2,000 cubic feet of water. So again, well below that 10,000-ish cubic foot threshold. There was another part of that comment, an age-old question. Do we believe that this other off-site IBW up here, if we believe that it was a stormwater basin? So I know we've had this discussion before on other projects. I do believe it is definitely a stormwater basin at some point in history, but it's clearly not been maintained. It's got pretty mature woody vegetation in it. And for the purposes of the buffer zones that it imparts on our site, it doesn't really make much of a difference whether or not it's isolated or bordering, because under the bylaw, those buffer zones are all the same, and we would not be able to touch the wetland itself, even if we wanted to. So that's the gist with that one. We are kind of going through and doing our due diligence to make sure the T's are crossed and I's are dotted, and we can identify that appropriately, but for all intents and purposes, they are regulatorily the same for the purposes of this site. Lastly was a comment about the Zone A FEMA elevation. So in this area, we don't have an elevation listed for the Zone A, which you can see is this blue shaded area here. It kind of has an awkward cutoff here right in the middle of the stream, in the middle of the site. So we went ahead, the engineers did a little bit of extra survey work. They shot the road crest down here on Northern Spy Road. So you can see this water flows kind of following these white arrows in this direction. We identified this spot as being essentially the major impoundment for this wetland system. So what we're showing here in the pink is from LiDAR. So these are, a GIS data set and don't perfectly match up to on-the-ground survey, but we wanted to be able to show something for illustrative purposes here tonight. So that road crest elevation is 271, which essentially is the highest elevation that this wetland system could flood to. So we've gone ahead and essentially just assigned an elevation to that floodplain at 271. So that's what we're seeing here. We'll, I'm sure, have some back and forth with Beta and you guys on that. But I just wanted to kind of give you that update, and we're working through it and are looking forward to your review.
Couple just curious
Yeah.
questions. So the body of water that's on the other side of that right
Over here?
Yeah. Is that a pond? Is that a lake?
This is not a body of water, that's the floodplain.
Oh, that's the flood.
And that goes down towards the golf course in that direction.
Oh, I see.
Uncas Brook.
Oh,
Yes, yeah, so this coming through here is Uncas Brook. That is a map perennial stream as well.
So it would flow either there and down? Okay.
Yeah, it would flow in this direction and then out over that embankment.
How far down is the floodplain, I guess to the left of that? I guess that's, to the west of that.
So down here,
Yeah, what does that go down to? Just curious.
elevation or?
Yeah.
Well, so this pink outline is the 271 contour.
271.
So this entire wetland system is essentially at 271
Oh, okay. I thought
with,
the road peaked out and then went down. I got you.
yeah, no, this is, I just kind of pulled that from Mass Mapper, and all that pink you see is 271 based on LiDAR.
Okay.
And just again, just to let clarity, that piece that essentially prevents the graining, yes, that, how big is that piece of land really? It's just like a little, almost like a dam, an earthen dam almost?
That's where Northern Spy Road crosses,
the road.
right there. So that's the road crest elevation in that area. I don't know exactly its dimensions.
The stream does incise quite a bit with culverts.
Oh,
So there's a lot of undersized culverts, especially when it goes into the golf course.
Really?
So it goes through Cook's Farm 1 and 2,
Okay.
and then it goes,
Huh.
there's a
So
awful
there's a
grate
culvert
there that I
underneath that
don't
road.
like.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
Not a,
But do you,
Properly sized
do you
one.
think it's undersized?
I think all of them are undersized, but
They're all
9.5 times out of 10, every culvert's undersized.
undersized?
Probably.
Okay.
Probably.
So basically, we've set the stage, just historically, for major flooding with, as we get more and more rain per year, per annum, right? We set the stage for more and more flooding.
Right.
in these areas, yes?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, essentially that 271 road crest elevation would be the elevation at which the water flows over the road instead of through the culvert.
And they're privately owned culverts, just FYI.
Oh, they are?
They're private culverts?
They're private culverts.
Man.
looks like you've got a lot of
Cook's Farm.
area
the
to
HOA.
fill up before you get to 271 though.
Certainly, it's a very large area. This is really a pretty massive wetland system. So a tremendous amount of flood storage capacity here, I'm sure.
Mhm.
Did Cook's Farm put those culverts in when they were constructing the development?
It's all new, both 1 and 2,
Yeah, okay.
or 2 and 1, I guess. is
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
how it goes.
interesting.
Not that you'd know it, but that 271 on the road, there must be a house right about there.
I'm sure, yeah. Let's see, we see, not exactly, but there's houses here and here and here. So, within 100 feet or so of that spot.
Way above the road, do you know?
I don't know
Like
what
I
their
said,
elevation is, yeah, but not dramatically unless they've got some substantial grading
You
around.
get enough rain to fill that thing up.
Yeah, those guys would be
You
ruined.
guys ought to be a little bit worried about what
We'll be building an ark.
you, yes.
Yeah.
You ought to get your boat out.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
So just a quick little update for you guys.
This is very helpful, very,
Yeah.
very visual. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no, this was good.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have an update for you, Chris, next Thursday. That's fine.
You're going out?
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. We're looking forward to it.
Okay.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah.
Is there anyone online or, no, there's nobody else? Okay, I will take a motion to continue.
Give you a motion to continue the NRAD for 444 East Central Street to January 23rd at 7:11.
Second, vote to continue.
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 Continue?
Louis,
Continue.
continue. I'd like to open up the 12th public hearing, the NOI for 7 Charles River Drive.
So this is a residential project, as such I'm reviewing internally.
Okay.
It is a standard pool project in the backyard
Okay.
bordering BVW. It has not yet been submitted or processed, to my knowledge, at DEP. As such, there's no DEP number yet. I'm also waiting for the legal ad to be paid. I have 2 requests out to pay that,
Okay.
and I'm not beginning my review until I have
Of
payment.
course, right.
So,
Okay, and they're well aware of this?
mhm,
Yes. Okay,
they're well aware.
okay. I'm assuming there's no one here from seven,
No,
okay, and no one online or in chambers, obviously? No? Okay.
Give me a motion to continue the NOI for 7 Charles River Drive to January 23rd at 7:12 PM.
Second that?
Vote to continue.
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 Continue?
Louis?
Continue.
Thank you. Okay, now we move on to the minor buffer zone activity portion of the evening. And the first one we have up is 634 King Street.
He's back.
Good evening.
Good
Hello.
evening.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
So, if, I was here back in November, I was online, I think. We're looking to, I own 634 King, it's about a 1 acre lot, next to the Franklin Fire Station on King Street. There's a isolated wetland, I think it's the same one that 55 Constitution is
Dealing with,
is
yeah.
dealing with. We're looking to clean the lot up, and go inside to the 50-foot buffer, do some tree clearing and some brush clearing. It's very messy. There's some debris that's been dumped back in that wetland area. Some tires and some construction material that has been there for years. So we're looking to clean the lot up for marketing purposes, aesthetic purposes, and get rid of some of the vegetation and the overgrown trees and vines and whatnot. So last time I was here, you asked for we did a vernal pool study back in June of 2023, which I have, and I believe that is online now also. There are no I know I emailed that to you, I don't know.
It's okay. The commission actually never truly requested the vernal pool
Oh, okay.
survey, but they had asked about where invasive species.
Sure.
But
I have
it's
a
not a
letter.
vernal pool, so.
I have a letter here that I can provide if you'd like to.
Yeah, sure. I've driven by his property, and it truly needs to be cleaned up.
Thank you.
You mean clear cut or cleaned up?
Oh, I don't know, you're not planning on clear cutting, are you? I mean, certain areas maybe you are, but it needs
He's
to be.
planning on clear cutting.
We
I spoke to his
plan on
arborist.
cutting a significant amount. I'd like to speak to Jamie and the fire chief about the trees that abut to that abut the fire station and how they'd like to handle those trees. We're not looking to, certainly if they'd like to keep trees there. I'm not even sure if the trees are totally on our property or the town's property, but I can certainly have that conversation with Jamie and the fire chief.
So I have a few comments.
Sure.
I will say cleaned up is relative, right? Cleaned up is applicable when it's invasive species. Cleaned up is not applicable when it comes to naturalized areas because Mother Nature is messy and chaotic and that's how she functions just fine. I will say that your arborist did give me a call yesterday. He said that he had provided a map to you noting where generally trees were. I don't know if you have that.
I did, he just provided that to me today, and I did email it to you this
Was
evening.
it after hour? Yeah, okay. So
But
I stopped checking emails at 4. But all the same, I asked him generally what DBH trees removed, and he said 13 to 15, which are pretty substantial. And then as for the lot lines and the trees on the property, that probably should have also been identified prior to here. So I mean, I defer to the commission.
So as far as like invasive species, bittersweet and all that, what's your plan?
I'm no expert on botany. So we plan on removing any vines, it's a mess out there. And our intent is to market the property for future development. So, that's why I'm here.
So one thought maybe, right, if you can put the picture back up of the lot, if you don't mind.
Which one?
That had the overview of the lot, that,
Oh, sure.
the, like, stat picture. There you go. So you're looking to market it, right? Totally get that. You know, is there an option to clear it a little bit more towards the front and leave some of the trees towards the back, particularly that back corner where you got the IVW? You know, and along the lot line, you've got a house there on one side, you got the fire station. And look, I'm not an expert in marketing, so I'm just asking, but I just, maybe there's an opportunity to preserve some trees in parts of the lot and still have it look appealing. Just a thought.
Yeah, the house next door to us, their driveway was paved onto our lot.
Oh,
And
Their driveway's right there,
they have a shed on our lot too. And I have have a rapport with that.
okay.
So we're certainly not looking to, you know, to hurt them at all.
Right.
There's really not any trees that are right on the lot. You can drive in or you can walk in. There's really not any significant trees that are on the lot line next to the house that are buffering them from the lot. It's more brush and overhang, I guess. So.
I mean, especially back by the IVW, and again, just questions, right? You know, certainly clear out the vines, clear out any garbage, but leaving significant old growth trees, you know, in the back, you know, I think would be appealing to us as a commission.
Yeah.
We don't want to completely put you out, but, you know, it's probably going to be marketed from, from King Street, right?
something around there.
Right?
Is this gonna be a commercial development? Is this zoned?
We brought it, the town wanted to rezone it to commercial, and the town council ultimately turned it down. However, there are other commercial uses that we can do there that would fall within the current residential zoning. Or a variation of office uses that we could potentially do.
An ice cream shop?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Is that an ice cream shop?
No, unfortunately, an ice cream shop is not allowed.
That's what
under,
was Jamie's suggestion.
residential rezoning.
Yeah,
So
that
I'd
was
vote for
Jamie's
that.
suggestion to
So-
sweeten the
So
pot,
they-
so.
they didn't want, I'm guessing, they didn't want to change the zoning because around it is all residential, is that the deal?
Well,
So I put that-
there was a very large gathering of abutters that came out, and somebody had gotten wind that we were gonna put a gas station there. A gas station was a use that was allowed under business zoning. However, that wasn't what was in front of the boards. It was simply a change of zoning. So we had conceded that, you know, if that was a deal killer, then we wouldn't do a gas station. We would rule that out in some fashion, whether it was a deed restriction or whatnot, but they ultimately turned it down. So we had about 50-50 of the council that wanted the zone change, and it's, you know, of course, in my opinion, it's an appropriate spot for a business use. No one's gonna build a single-family home next to the Franklin Fire Station, and especially in this area with the traffic, so.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, yeah, it's busy.
There's a couple homes right around that though, right? The way I
There's
see
one
it.
right there, and there's one
Yeah.
across
Yeah.
the street.
Yeah, and then you have the warehouse going in across the street too, so we just thought it was a great spot for some new business development. And that, you know, we haven't ruled that out, but it's not gonna happen tomorrow, but it could happen in the future. Cumberland Farms own this site, and
Yeah, I know, yeah. But I mean, too, if you clear out all the vines,
yeah,
they're gonna come back. So it would,
It's probably all basic.
It is.
right, so it would benefit you to clear them out, but then the next person's still left with the same mess. I'm not really in favor of just clear cutting to make it look pretty for the next person to come in and try to do something with this piece of property. Especially, I watched those planning board meetings, and I don't think I heard anyone speak in favor of anything going there.
well, it's pretty typical of most hearings. It's a great site, it's a great business site.
I don't see why we wouldn't, why, if I owned it, I'd sure want to go in there and clean it up.
Clean it up tree-wise, or just
I'd, some
trash?
trees, yeah. If you're gonna develop that, if you're gonna put a house, anything you're gonna put in there, you gotta get rid of some trees. right?
Yeah, some, yes.
Yeah, maybe, you know, we were talking about, maybe you, we leave some trees down in here because most of your development's gonna be up there.
I mean, is that's something you'd be open to?
To,
Leaving some of the trees, particularly in the back by the IVW?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're just
there's not a
asking,
lot-
right?
There's
Just-
not a lot of trees back there, believe it or not. I have a list of trees that I sent over.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I have a list of trees that I sent over to Brickley. 8 oaks, roughly 3 to 12 inches in diameter, not healthy. 4 maple trees, not healthy. 4 beech, 1 willow, not healthy. 2 pine, dead. 1 black birch, not healthy. 1 apple, not healthy.
And this,
And
was
then I
this,
had,
I don't have this. Did you send right before the meeting?
You responded to this email. I sent this on Monday, December 9th.
Okay.
And you said you were gonna review this further.
That's
closer
true.
to-
And then your arborist, that's right, so your arborist
Yeah.
called and said that he was gonna supply a site map. I don't have that. So we don't have location data for any of those trees. Did you send that?
Well, those were all, yes, I emailed you that today because I only got it today.
Okay,
I have,
so it sounds like
I
we're,
have that printed out that I can, I mean, it's basically the same picture as that. I actually gave it a little bit more of a buffer than what he did.
Yeah.
and the trees are marked on that, like with little X's or dots of where their locations are?
Well, they're in the trees I identified are in the 50-foot buffer from the wetland.
Hey, Jeff.
Oh.
Letter that went in earlier.
Okay.
So,
And did you identify that they're
Do what?
hazardous or dying, or did your arborist identify that?
Myself and my partner put this list together.
Okay,
And the pictures that I, on the screen were,
Okay.
those were pictures that we took.
so it sounds like we're still missing information from somebody who, and I'm making a joke and it's gonna seem pointed, does know botany and dendrology, and an arborist or a tree guy that can properly identify what trees are there. I can't represent you, so I can't provide that information to the commission on your behalf. That can identify where the location of those trees are and provide that site map. Because what I'm feeling now is the commission is split, and if there was just more information in that data, it'd be an easy, yes.
Yeah, I mean, I went out there and flagged, the wetland's been flagged. It was flagged, and I went out there and flagged the 50-foot buffer and the 100-foot buffer. And, you know, so anybody can go out there and look. It's not really a big area. And I tried to list the best I could, the trees that were in that buffer zone that we thought we should take down. They're nothing special, that's for sure.
So I had a question. You keep saying that you flagged it. You're flagging all of this and you're identifying it, or are you having, is there somebody coming out and doing
No,
this?
Goddard flagged the wetland.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they did a vernal pool
Yeah.
study. And I went out and flagged, I measured 50 feet in several locations from their flags to identify the 50-foot buffer for anybody that wanted to go out there.
So what flags did they have down?
The IVW?
Just,
Yeah, they
flagged
had the wetland flags.
itself.
Nobody professionally qualified has identified the trees.
Right, right.
And unfortunately, as what we do with residents even, if you're going to say a tree is hazardous or diseased or infested, which is a really good reason for removal, you have to have a tree company come out and do that. So what I'm trying to figure out is your tree guy that called me yesterday, they didn't do this.
No, he came out and made some observations. He said he was gonna call you and said this isn't a big deal and shouldn't be a problem. That's what he told me, so.
Have you reviewed our filing requirements or the meeting
Those-
from the minutes from the November meeting?
I can't recall. I don't know.
Okay.
You know,
So-
for me to hire a botanist to come out there and identify each
You don't
individual
have to, it's your tree guy,
I'm
Joe.
at the, you know, I think it's a bit unreasonable. I clearly labeled the area, and like I said, anybody that wanted to go out there and look at them it's welcome. I'm trying to clean the place up, you know, if you wanna go out there and look at all the trees.
You have everyday residents do it. I mean, this is procedure and it has been outlined, so. that's-
Louis, did you have something?
Yeah, so I have a comment. So going back to the last meeting, I think we requested a plan basically outlining which trees were being removed and identifying the type of tree, whether it's invasive or maybe perhaps it was something that was already dead. But part of the application, going back to when you filed the application, we do have it stated that, you know, location, you know, section 1, we're looking for like the type, location, type, size of any vegetation being removed, excuse me, and any vegetation to be planted. So it's part of like the submittal processes, you know, we're looking for that, and I believe we requested it last time. So it just kind of gives us an idea of, you know, what is going to be taken out, and just referencing, you know, kind of like the scope of you know, the entire tree removal. Currently, I'm just hearing a general, you know, you want a site clear. We just kind of need more information of what that looks like. So I'm also seeing some site photos from the area. So I think part of, you know, if you're trying to convince or, you know, kind of advertise this plot of land, I do see, you know, there may be some trash there too. You might need to look into as far as removal. But aside from that, you know, I think I'm also kind of curious to see what that scope looked like. And so far I haven't seen any of that, so I'm not sure if we have all the information at this point.
So I would suggest just calling your tree guy back. They do it all the time. I think he's from, oh gosh, it starts with an S, Tree Company.
Sure.
Yep, they permit in front of us all the time. So he should be able to go out real quick, identify what needs to come down, identify if it's hazardous or not. And he'll have an aerial plan, and he can take a Sharpie and go right here, right here, right here, right here, right here. And that's it.
Okay. I mean, let me just ask a question. What's your policy on site visits? In my past experience, commissions have gone out, visited sites in order to get taking a photo and showing it on a screen like this isn't the most ideal way to show what needs to come down, but I went out, took the time to identify the buffer zone, and it's simple to go out and look and see the buffer zone and what's in the buffer zone. I mean, I can call him back, and I'm sure, I don't know if they'll do that. I'm trying to, of course, keep my expenses down on this property, but if that's what you require, then that's what you require. But I have attempted to identify the area that we'd like to cut, and the trees that we'd like to cut.
Ultimately, this is a building lot, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so we're gonna build, something's gonna be built, either I'm gonna build something here or
So
somebody
guys,
else is.
We're building a little here. He's gonna take all the trees out of there, except maybe some around the edge there, and then maybe down around the 50-foot. Go on down to the,
I think that's what we were saying, right? If we could leave trees along the edge and along the.
yeah, you can leave, you can say that right now. If some of them,
But that's what we're trying
I've
to.
driven out there,
Yeah.
and
So the concern
there's
is, oh, go ahead.
not too many trees that you can say in there, gee whiz, that's a beautiful tree that I'd like to keep. Some of them are healthier than others, but, you know, down in here, perhaps, around the edge. But all of that up there, ultimately,
Well, I
He
think
wants a
that's
building lot.
But I think that's what we're saying.
Yeah, he's gonna take them down, so you're not gonna count the trees in there.
Right, yeah.
Around the edge,
Well, I think we're all saying the same thing.
yeah.
I think you wanted to clear the entire lot, right? That was my perception where we had the disconnect.
Well, my understanding is that I can clear the lot within 100 feet of the wetland.
Right, right, right.
Outside of, without permitting,
Yeah.
not within.
Right.
Right, right.
So there are some trees in the 50-foot buffer, the ones that I identified on my email, that we'd like to also take down. I don't think it would do any harm to the wetland. I know, I mean, they're not great trees.
Well, you're looking at them in the winter too, right? So right now they are.
Well, right now, of course, yeah, they don't have leaves, but literally some of them are dead. They're strangled by vines and,
So the concern is one, it's not historical precedent for the commission to just authorize that without location,
Right.
right? Once you remove it, it's gone. That's two. Three, it is written as our procedure and our filing requirements. If you start waiving it for people, that's a slippery slope because it demonstrates preferential treatment. You make residents do this.
Yep.
And four, if it's not included within a filing fee or filing, and if it's not outlined explicitly and accurately at a public hearing, it's unenforceable.
Right.
So unfortunately, it's neither here nor there, Joe. It's just, that's the threshold.
so I'm clear. You would like a list in addition to the list I provided with an explanation from an expert on the type and quality and health of each individual tree?
I think we're looking for the
Location.
arborist to do is take a graphic to Bricolai's point and identify the specific trees within the 100-foot on the map. So we can specifically see. I don't think we need quantitative, right? We're just looking for or qualitative. We're just looking for where are the trees and how many are in that area.
And your guy is qualified enough to say it's infested, it's crotched, it's codominant.
Yeah, if
it's
your guy wants to
kerneled,
make a
like-
recommendation that he
Yeah.
feels as a certified arborist that it's a dead tree and that it should come down, we're open to that, but that's, but yeah, we're looking to see specific locations of trees, which he can do, and if he wants to make recommendations of ones that should come down for disease, we'd be interested in that, so up to you. Right? So that's what we're looking for. And it shouldn't take him, to Bricolai's point, much to do. I mean, we get this all the time.
Yeah.
It's easy.
Wouldn't we be further, say that we'd be more interested in the trees on the borders of your lot and then down in here
Well,
than in the,
it's not jurisdictional, right?
I would do within jurisdiction.
Right,
Everything within
right.
jurisdiction.
I mean, we made that suggestion,
Okay.
but yeah, we get, at this point, I think we gotta be jurisdictional,
yeah.
so.
And we're not looking at a future development because we don't have a future
Yeah, don't even
development
know,
in front
right?
of
At
us,
this
so we
point,
can't
just
plan
wanna
for that.
see, yeah, locations, trees, and it's, like I said, these guys do this, it's standard ops all the time, so you call him, he'll know exactly what you're talking about.
Okay.
But I also have a question. So as far as, okay, you're saying that you went out and you measured 50-foot buffer zone and the 100-foot buffer zone,
Yes.
but you are not qualified, you're asking us to take, that you measured correctly, that you know where you're measuring and all of that. When we have applicants that come here, they have companies that go out and do that for them, and they know that's their job. That's not your job. So how do we know you are accurate in your assumption of where the 50-foot buffer zone is and where the 100-foot buffer zone is?
To alleviate blood pressure, once we get that plan, as I do for residents, I can go back out and do that for him if that behooves the commission. I just need more information from him to be able to provide an opinion.
Can we accept the wetland flags without an?
It's already been delineated. That's been an accepted wetland delineation. That delineation is not new to this project.
Okay.
So,
Are you good with that, Richard?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, you just want to make sure we're all.
That long driveway that goes down there, that goes to Enclave, is that where that's
Yes.
headed? Okay.
Yes.
And outlined in blue, is that what you're saying is the wetland?
The blue is the line, I did this. The blue is the line that I wanted to be able to cut up to. So the trees identified in the,
This blue or that blue?
this,
oh, I'm sorry, the dark blue, the royal blue.
this one.
Okay, I'm talking about the lighter blue or green,
Yeah, that
alongside
would-
of the driveway.
That's, okay, so I can clarify, this sketch was provided to me by Goddard. I added in the royal blue buffer to the wetland. So I'm staying 50 feet off of those flags. And everything that would be cut would be to the east, I guess you would call it, of the royal blue line. I wouldn't go anywhere inside that 50 feet. 50 feet to the aqua blue color.
You mean, oh.
Yes.
So if you're not cutting in there, you don't even have to have the trees identified in there, right?
No, so he's cutting in this area, am I right?
Yes.
All we need is trees identified.
Nothing down in here.
No. That whole area behind the house, nothing in there.
I didn't understand.
So why is it outlined?
So thank you for asking.
Just so
I
I
didn't get that.
understand.
So we just want to know the trees in between the 50 and the 100.
Yes, so the aqua blue line was identified as the wetland by Goddard.
Right.
And then I went out and measured
He just measured
from the flags that Goddard had put out, 50 feet and 100 feet. And they're identified with flags on the property. I then added the royal blue line to show approximately the 50-foot buffer zone on the map for the commission to show where any trees would be cut. There would be no trees cut inside of that 50-foot buffer.
Okay. So we're,
And all these pictures that I've sent are on the other side of that royal blue
Got it.
line. Yeah.
Okay.
so we're asking to have trees identified within the 50 to 100 so we can see specifically what's going to be cut and any recommendations of diseased trees. So that's, yeah.
And when he comes out, he can give you a quote. That way it's not a wasted trip, because he said he hasn't quoted you yet.
Well, yeah. Sounds good to me.
Okay,
That will be consistent.
great. Thank you.
Thanks for talking us through it.
So now we go on to the second minor buffer zone activity for the night, Franklin High School.
Yep. There is a representative online. There he is.
Good evening.
Hello?
Hi.
So my name's Eric Royce. I'm with Castle Booz Associates Architects. We're working with the town of Franklin to replace the visitor bleachers at the high school. If I could share, I will show you where that is. Let me know when you're seeing it.
Still on
Not yet.
Not
Still
yet.
on me.
Oh, it wouldn't be up there, Richard. It would be on the TV.
It's not there either.
Yeah, same,
There we go.
How about now?
yeah, you're good.
Okay. So this is the high school site. This is Pizzini Field at the track. And these are the visitor bleachers here. So what we're proposing to do is, there's a wetland area, a water course that runs kind of back from this corner along here. I'll show you a little more, that in a little more detail on the next sheet, but what we're proposing is removing one of these arborvitaes right at the corner to gain access, and then get truck access in through here along this existing walk. The existing bleacher comes out completely, the footings come out, and a new bleacher goes in that's pretty much the same footprint as what we had previously. So to give you an idea what that is, these are the plans that we submitted. But this is the existing bleacher here. This is that access I'm talking about. The tree that gets removed, and this is the existing driveway over here to the school that goes around the school. What we're proposing is the new bleacher goes in. The new bleacher is pretty much the same size as the existing bleacher. And that's our limited disturbance is pretty much limited to what's there already. There's an existing wall along the left-hand side here that we're trying to avoid. We're not touching that. The existing wetland is back in here. This is the flagged wetland. These are previous construction plans, so these wetlands were flagged in '92. And then there's an existing chain link fence that's back in the woods here that runs all along here. That's a 6-foot fence in pretty poor condition, but we're not touching anything on that other side of the fence. We're not even proposing to remove that fence. Clearing wise, all we're doing is grubbing some existing vegetation at this corner so we could fill a little to get a truck through there. Right now it's too narrow to get a decent sized truck through, or even a pickup truck through. So we're just trying to widen it out enough that we can get a pickup truck through. And then in through here, the only clearing we'll do is any limbing up we need to do. These existing bleachers are pretty overgrown at the moment. So whatever's underneath the bleachers gets removed, and then anything around the perimeter that we need to limb up, we'll limb up. But there's really no clearing or grubbing proposed for that area. With that, I'm gonna turn it back over to Brika. She's been out there, and I'll let you answer any questions, or I'm here to answer any questions that might come up.
It's de minimis in nature, and it's other than the vista pruning that they're doing, and then mowing underneath, right? Underneath the bleachers, the temporary impact is that access, which it's all disturbed. It's all existing disturbed, and it's actually chock full of invasives.
So the access strip there, after you're done, what's the wrap-up plans for that?
We remove whatever fill or material they use to get that existing width going, and then we'll seed it back off as either conservation mix or
Perfect.
lawn.
Thank you.
Facilities will probably just approve. They're just gonna mow it anyways. So probably save the money on conservation.
Yeah.
I appreciate that though.
I'm good.
Okay, any other questions?
Give you a motion to approve the MBZA for Franklin High School.
Second. Vote to approve.
Vote to approve. Oh, sorry, with standard conditions, correct. Thank you.
Second again. Vote to approve.
Vote to approve with standard conditions, yeah.
Approved?
Approve.
Approve?
Approve.
Good catch. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
Have a great night.
You too.
Winding down. So we have COC for Briarwood Road. So we're still not in compliance, obviously, nothing.
Yeah,
No one's here.
I suppose no one's here. Just for the full commission's knowledge and for the record, if you recall, we had 7 Briarwood in front of us at the turn of the year, for a septic, you recall. So this COC is not for that order of conditions.
Okay.
This is a historic order of conditions that upon purchase and sale of the property, right, it was a failed septic Title V, which is why it was getting replaced, popped up between the attorneys, the buyers and the sellers. The previous homeowner, since they've since moved, never filed or recorded their current order of conditions with the registry, so the attorneys never caught that there was another order open, which I said, what about the other one? Because I don't have a receipt that it was ever filed. I have no notification that work started. I did not inspect erosion controls. I have no letter from their engineer that erosion controls were installed. I am assuming that, well, I know the work is done because the house was bought. I'm assuming it was done correctly, but we still need that information to make the order of conditions good for the current filing. So my recommendation is a denial of this COC until we get the information we need for the current order of conditions, since there are existing violations, however administrative.
Does somebody over there know that they,
Both the attorneys know and the engineering firm knows. The current property owner, I'm not sure, but I did write a strong encouraging letter to the engineer, since a lot of those conditions fall back to the engineer to meet those conditions, because the current property, I mean, that could be a civil suit. Because at this point, the current property owner now has taken on environmental violations that they have no idea. So,
so is this a big deal? I mean, in terms of sitting down and writing this up?
No.
Can you,
what do you mean?
I mean,
They have to file with the registry. I've already asked for them to
they
give
have to
me,
describe what is going on here, right?
so for the septic, they have that order of conditions, they have to file with the registry.
So they haven't even done that?
Standard, I just got the receipt, like right before the end of the day today. I let them know that this is the engineering firm, because they're also on the order, right? As we know, it's applicant and representative. I let them know that I need any information noting when they started work, because that was a condition. I need information on erosion controls, pictures, order, an invoice, something
Describe or
to
something?
show that it happened, any site condition photos that they could give me, noting it's all after the fact. I need that first, then I need to go out, I need to be able to inspect it, and then they need to refile for a COC to close that order of conditions. The middle ground is, I would recommend not charging a future refiling fee for this historic order of conditions, noting that the current order of conditions when coming in for a COC will need to have a filing fee.
That makes sense. What a mess, huh?
What a mess.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to go.
It's the 2 mile per hour train.
Yeah, right. All right, I mean,
The homeowner is the ultimate fall guy in this thing if it all falls through.
Yeah, and they're the victim. They
They
really
should
are
be
the victim.
standing up and howling at somebody.
Yeah, we talked about this before, right? I mean, there is no protection in Massachusetts.
That's
It's
right.
the great consumer protection state, for this kind of stuff going on, right? I mean, if indeed a realtor or an attorney representing the buyer misses something or fails to disclose, right? And then the buyers don't work for it. And that's really unfair. Because they're going on based, they hire these professionals, accredited, licensed through the state's professionals, right? Okay? Come on. And the other state won't back them up with protections. And they should be able to take these jokers to court.
it's tough.
Yeah. Instead of just let the buyer beware. And that's really unfair.
It is.
Conservation. I onerous about this, Matt? Or is it onerous? You have the Gregor McGregor telling me how that was stupid, so stupid, so stupid. They're like 20-year-olders in your back pocket. I didn't say that. Okay, anyway.
Libel.
Yep.
So,
Just joking, just joking, just joking. Anyway, so, yeah, I agree.
I agree, deny.
Yes, deny.
I give you a motion to deny the, actually, we don't need a motion, we just vote on denial, right?
Right,
The
yeah,
COC.
yeah.
Everybody, all in favor of denial?
Unfortunately, I have to vote yes.
Yeah, vote denial.
Vote denial.
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 Louis?
Denial.
Yeah.
Denied. Okay.
And Union Street, we gotta extend that pig again.
Here we are, at the violations enforcement, our favorite part of the evening, for 305 Union.
Okay. I'll give you a motion to extend the Violation Enforcement Act for 305 Union Street for another 30 days.
Second that,
Vote to extend.
vote to extend.
Vote to extend.
Extend?
Extend.
Extend.
Louis?
Extend.
So it actually got into 2025.
Yeah, amazing, wow. Okay, now we're going down to 00 Prospect Street. What is going on with this wonderful, wonderful project?
I'm in court all day next Tuesday.
Oh, man.
That's what's
Do you
going
need
on.
anybody from up here to be in court or no?
No.
Unless we want to just watch the show?
You could reach out to Mark, see what he prefers. But the summons applied to the commission and/or its agent, so.
I didn't know, maybe he wants to serve, maybe he doesn't want to serve, whatever it is.
You reach out to him.
Okay. Okay, and then we have the minutes.
Oh, we have
Oh,
to
yeah, you gotta,
vote to extend.
Oh, sorry.
I give you a motion to extend the violation enforcement on 00 Prospect Street.
Second,
Okay,
vote to extend.
Extend.
stand,
Extend?
Extend.
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 It is extended. Okay, now we have the minutes. And I just was noticing the minutes had a blue portion.
Wow.
what, sorry, one second.
So, I think, do you want to put that in? Do you want to modify those first?
I can, otherwise you can always just read it into the record too. Because to modify it at this point, but yeah, that's fine. I can stick it in there, but I would still I would advise you to make a motion to approve with those changes. Otherwise, for me to go back and make those changes, you'd have to approve them at the next meeting.
Okay, let's do that.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Good.
Okay. I'm talking about this little comment here, what hasn't yet happened, so.
Yeah, apologies, sorry, that was COVID haze, and
That's
so
fine.
these came in and then it just
No,
gets
that's
added to
okay.
the
That's
agenda.
fine. That's fine.
Usually
Do we
she
need to read that
writes an
in?
email.
So there's a, okay, so there's a note here on page 4 of the minutes, just for the record. It says, she received DEP comments, which she read into the record. Hi, Kyle and Enrica, Lee, if you could like to add the DEP comments here verbatim, please copy, paste, and insert here, as I did. I did not have access to that document. So basically, we're looking for the DEP comments to insert into the record as they were put, but doing it verbatim. So we're asking for that additional modification to the minutes. So approval with this modification. So noted.
Motion to approve the minutes with the modification as noted.
Second, vote to approve.
Approve.
Approved?
Approve?
Approve.
Approve.
Louis?
Approve.
Approved.
Good catch.
Okay. And, do we have any friends of, okay, so now we're to the, updates. Friends of Franklin, liaison update?
No, sorry.
Master plan liaison update?
Yes, the
Yes.
comment that the commission addressed was finally resolved and removed.
Oh, what?
Yes, there was some pushback on
Good.
it, but it was resolved, which is great, actually.
Okay, great,
so.
fantastic.
Nice work.
Okay. Natural resource production, Andrew, update?
January 22nd, I have a presentation to town council about Schmitz Farm in Maple Hill. Considering Maple Hill is a conservation area, I recommend all of you go. Or
Okay,
attend
cool.
in some fashion. This is the master planning.
Master plan, maybe? Or-
Yeah.
Oh, that's a master plan committee or the town council?
That's the town master plan, so what I've been working on with Beta to parcel plan the property,
that here?
unfortunately. Yep,
And at 7?
yep. Unfortunately, I don't have the Maple Hill portion ready, considering all the other things,
Okay.
which is why I don't have it presented to you yet. I can tell the commission not much is changing from what's already there, considering it is easier to work with human behavior than change human behavior. But there are a few different amenities, some trail connections to neighborhoods, things like that, connectivity to Metacomet.
Okay.
So, and then Schmitz Farm, obviously, which is not a conservation area, but something that you are a big stakeholder in.
Right. Going down the list, just, could we take the MACC if they off the list?
Yes, I did see that.
And CRWA updates, no updates,
No.
yes? Okay.
Although, to be fair, the MAC update could stay and I could just update, especially when there's conferences and things like that.
All right,
That's,
that's fine.
and I can bug you about continuing your education and
Okay, yep, yep.
Networking.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay. That's it. Anyone else have anything? No?
Eli, did I hear something at the town council meeting last night about ads?
yes,
They're
I
not
was
gonna
not
put them in
there,
newspapers anymore?
but I'm assuming yes, Jamie made a comment in passing yesterday that I caught about legal ads no longer needing to be circulated in newspapers.
Well, he also made that comment on town council last night.
Okay. I was presenting on climate resilience in Middleborough last night. We have a department's head meeting, I'm sure he'll bring it up tomorrow, if not next Wednesday. And once I have more information on that, I can let you know.
Okay. That has to be, that's the record, that's right.
Yeah, I was gonna give it to her,
Close, adjourn, close meeting? You have to adjourn.
yeah. Motion to adjourn.
Motion adjourned.
Second, vote to adjourn.
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 Adjourn?
Lee, adjourned?
Adjourned.
Undebatable.
Nice.
Yes, thank you.
Recording stopped.
Thanks, Louis.